Okay, hello, Brian. Thank you so much for kicking things off. As usual, let's go ahead and take a look at your compositions. Okay, in your writing, I didn't really see you address the intent of the posters. Now, don't forget, this project will create a poster for an event that is relevant to your field of study. So, I'm not sure. I know you said that your inspiration here had to do with a game, but I'm not real sure how this particular set of layouts is going to um, be used to create a poster promoting or with the topic of gaming. I believe gaming is your major area of study, right? I think that's right. Yes. Um, so let me say, I took inspiration from a game and decided to take a similar style. So don't forget, this somehow has to be transposed into a poster for an event that is relevant to your area of study. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and jump right to the compositions. Now, I think each one is interesting. This one's got a pretty interesting layered effect. And I think to a certain degree, you're developing a good sense of depth here. Wonderful rhythm in this composition. Um, to me, the most interesting compositions are the upper right and the lower left. The upper right simply because I think that you've done some really interesting things with scale here. You're also breaking the picture plane, which is adding a really interesting aspect to the negative space associated with the piece. I think the gradient is a little too drastic here. I would go ahead and start that gradient a little bit lighter, something in this range, this tonal range right here. Right now it's pure black. The trees are pure black, so you have some ambiguity down here. And it presumably, actually, now that I think about it, I believe I know why you did that, so that the trees don't just stop. So I'm going to retract that last statement and say that was actually a good decision. So let's stick with that. I didn't think that through. Otherwise, we have this effect right here, which isn't bad, but it could be a little ambiguous as well. The two trees are basically the same size. I would recommend increasing the size of one of them if you elect to go this route. Love the blurred background. This is really interesting because you've elected to blur the foreground, which is actually creating some selective focus and forcing the eye, which it reinforce depth, but it forces the eye to look beyond what is closest to the visual plane and look beyond it to see what's in focus. That's a really neat trick right there. I quite enjoy that. I think this is a little underdeveloped, though, in that this may not be readily recognizable as a forest or as trees. If it wasn't with these other three that indicate trees, we might not even get the trees out of this. So this one I think I'm not real sure about this one. This is really difficult. But you've got these lines coming out of the ground that are just they're kind of broken. I can't tell if they're telephone poles or if they're broken limbs. It's really difficult. So there's some information missing here that creates a little, actually a large question for the viewer wondering what is actually happening here. So those are my recommendations. Now I indicated which ones I think are the strongest compositions, but that's not to say you have to follow those compositions. Please choose what you feel has the most potential. Remember, this has to be a poster for an event that's related to your field of study. So keep that in mind moving forward. All right, good job. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, give me a holler. Thanks, Brian.